Okay, I dry fit it one last time and I used some clamps and I put a white mark. I folded this in half and put a white mark right there and a white mark in the middle of the cap so I can see that that's right. I set this so that I use the joints in my hand. To measure, so I'm one joint from the peg to the front of this on both sides. I check that. I'm 2 joints here and here to this seam here, and I'm halfway down the channel here. So that and that and that and that on those 4 sides are all lining up. So and this will go under a little bit of tension this way once we install it. So and this is under tension, so that's good. So now I'm going to go ahead. I changed my mind about the order. I think I'm going to install this one because this one pulls the pocket in. This one's the one that pulls the pocket in. So I'm going to install this one first on both sides, and then I'll install that one. That makes, once I was getting right down to it, that made more sense. So I'll go ahead and install this one and that one first, so that I know that this pocket is held. Oh, the other thing I made sure I did was these seams, made sure they were tucked under, so it wasn't rolled one way or the other, and we'll go from there. Go ahead and mark that one, and it's in the center. I've got it in the center of that channel. I wanted to mention a compromise that I made, and that I may do maybe differently. So this is after I've installed it, but this is the bright part in the video to put this in. In order to keep this from being a wind tunnel, I installed this snap in the fastener in the middle of this channel. What I realized afterwards that when getting ready to do the top should be installed right to even with the back like this. So if I had this to do over again, I would have installed this up here. I kind of got on a tear because this one was so far up. I put the rest of them up, and I should have put them like that. I've seen it both ways, both in Pigot's book and others, so I'm not horribly disappointed, but I just wanted to point that out. So I took this, and I tapped it around like this. Cut my hole. There it goes. Now I just tap those down. I'm doing this really gently, so I'm not worried about it. Here's my first one installed. Yay! And it goes on there just like it's supposed to. Okay. Now I think I'll do this one, then I'll do that one and that one. Okay, I put a dot here on both sides to make sure I didn't screw up. I almost screwed this one up. So I also took and sharpened these a lot because last time I didn't get it all the way through, so I sharpened them up. So we need the dot going forward. If the dot's going forward, then I have to do it this way, like that. And I want to make sure I'm going parallel. It's going parallel. Okay. See how that did. That got me all 4 marks. They didn't go through, but they're marked. So that tool needs a little rethinking. Okay, that one's done. Good. Okay, now I'm going to do the other side, making sure the middle is lined up. That's coming along, and I feel bad. Oh, it's the first one. The first one or two is really, really hard. So, anyway, because you're committing at that point. Okay, I've done the first 2, and now I'm getting ready to do this one. And I'm looking at my alignment, and I'm showing pulled a little bit to that way, which is good because I pull it back, and I got a good amount of tension across the whole back, and now I'm centered. Just that little bit of a pull, and that goes there well. And then with that amount of tension there, I'm well into this pocket right here. So I'll be able to pull this forward just a little bit. When I'm done there, because this dimension right here is pulling it tight, so I'll be able to flatten this up too. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this one. Make one more check there. One more check. My seam here is still 2 joints up. We'll go a little bit this way. This is 2 joints on my finger there. So we'll mark that, and that's in the middle, pretty much in the middle of the channel. We'll be ready to go. So we'll install that one and get ready to install that one. Okay, nice and tight all the way around there. Tension here. Going to go ahead and do these. Okay. And that one still shows in the same place, so I'll go ahead and do this one. Okay, I've got those two installed. The two installed along the back, and these two installed. And it's looking like it's going to be fairly evenly spread in the tension all the way around the back. So good. So I saw another video online where the individual was banging right on the paint and right on the car, and I just wanted to make a note of a couple things. One is I'm using a double layer of pad part of the time, and another part of the time I've got this thick foam underneath it up against if I'm going against the paint. So I'm just not putting the car at risk. The other thing I'm doing is I'm tapping fairly gently, sharpening the hole punch and tapping, so that I'm not putting a whole lot of force on it. So I have no concern about the paint. I'm keeping it well protected. So now I'm down to, how do I split it in half? Well, I can't really split it in half other than this one right here. So I'm going to just go ahead and go 1, 2, 1, 2, or I may do one here, one there, one here, one there if I feel like it. But I'm closing in on this. I'll do these ones on the outside, then I have that one inside that I still need to do. I'm happy with how it's turning out. Another thing I thought I'd mention in passing is I ended up taking my tool apart. The fact that it was hinged, the thickness of this was getting in the way of the hinge. And so what I'm doing now is I'm just using it as two halves, and I'm squeezing it together and tapping it with the hammer a little bit. And this will go ahead and it'll mark the vinyl quite well, like that. And then I'll just if I take the razor knife and just poke through, get this aligned up again, and get this aligned like, well, let me set the camera down for a second. Sorry about the horrible camera work. Put it back on like this, and take get it lined up again, and then just take the razor knife and poke it the rest of the way through like this. That does a good job of, that's sufficient then to install the lift the dots. So okay, I came up with a more accurate way of marking the pegs. I noticed I got the tiniest bit of bulge on this one because even though I marked it correctly with the white, it just bulged just a little bit. And that's nobody gonna care about that but me. But when I did this one, I realized, and that's perfect, I realized I could take the hole punch and press down, find the peg, press down and turn it like this, and mark the hole. So you can see it, and that puts it just perfectly on, and there's no transfer. Every time you transfer something, you introduce a measuring error. So I'm going to do it that way from now on.